Happy New Year. Oh, it's so cool. I cannot believe it's 2026. That's crazy. 2026 feels like the future. Like 2025 felt like futuristic-y kind of. That's not even a word. But this just feels like next level. And this being the year of the horse, which is a year of expansion, right? Last year was the year of the snake, which is the year of like creating systems. And this year is like putting yourself out there and letting people just love you for everything that you are, which is a big reason why the theme for the Pink Skirt Project Summit, which is happening July 9th and 10th in Kelowna, BC, is all about being seen. And we have really cool theme happening with paparazzi and spotlights, really encouraging women like you to step into your own spotlight because gosh darn it, lady, people need to hear about you. They need to know about you and your business and your why and your story. We all have something to share. And 2026 is your year. Now, today on this podcast, I want to talk about not reflections on the year, not the best marketing tactic or strategy to be seen or how to grow your influence. I really want you to hunker down, take out a notebook, to ask yourself 6 questions as you step into this new year. So whatever you're doing today, I always say the first of the year, January 1st, is my day to really get stuff done. It's one of my most productive days ever because I don't party, because I don't go out on New Year's Eve, is I just love it. It's usually like cold and snowy and I'm just like cuddled up at home and the boys are still playing with their Christmas toys and maybe we're visiting friends. But what I love about this time is the reflection, not necessarily on the past year, but on the opportunity and the hope of what this year is going to bring. And that is the point of this episode. And there are some questions I'd love for you to ask yourself as you navigate the turmoil of the season and maybe some hesitations and doubts and areas of your life where there's friction or where you want more excitement. So when it comes to like this new year and the year of the horse, I want you to put on this new hat. And I want to encourage you to dial it up a bit. Like take that nozzle and just like turn it up that dial because I want you to be louder, more bold. I never want you to ask if it's too much. This year, nothing's too much. This year is the year where you take your favorite color and that's where you see it everywhere. If your favorite color is purple, you see purple everywhere because it's that hope, it's that beacon that whatever you put your finger on, it's going to turn purple, not gold, purple or pink, whatever your favorite color is. The point being is you're going to ask yourself these 6 questions and you're going to step into this bold, vivacious, audacious version of yourself that you've been waiting for. So you ready for it? Here we go. The first question is going to be all about your identity shift. Identity is so huge when it comes to believing we're worthy of the things we've achieved. And the first question that I asked myself this year is this: what was my biggest identity shift this year? For me, it was going from the Renee who helps people to Renee who builds an empire while helping people. It sounds similar, but it's not. You see, for years, I've been the behind the scenes person, the one crafting the pitches, getting the clients, the media wins, celebrating somebody else's success and their stories. And I loved it. And I still do. Those were my PR years. But I realized I was hiding behind their success. I was doing the hard work for them because it felt safe. It was familiar. And this is a very common theme for most women. So they hide behind the curtain and then they stop full stop when all of a sudden the spotlight inches toward them. This year, especially after launching the Pink Skirt Project and crushing our summit, I had to own that I am no longer an agency owner, that I am no longer a service provider. I am building something bigger and I'm creating a movement. And that required me to step into something bigger and to stop playing small, to stop deflecting compliments, to stop saying, oh, that's nothing special, or oh, that was just luck, especially when people were complimenting the difference in my energy and the difference in my growth. The moment it clicked for me was right after the event, 350 women, one room. I was flooded with comments and direct messages and emails and text message about how much the event changed their lives. So I knew I had a bigger duty to do to serve the sisterhood than ever before. There was a moment during the event, it was 11 a.m., and the energy in that room was just next level. And I opened up my phone to check my direct messages, to check text messages to see if anybody needed me. Stupid idea. It was like, open up Instagram, and the messages went like I couldn't even keep up. It was so overwhelming, I closed it. I got a glimpse of some things. And it was women dancing, women singing, women hugging new besties. I realized this is it. I created a movement, and I would do all these women in this room a whole disservice if I was not the one showing up the energy they needed with the ability to be seen that they needed, because I was instilling hope and possibility into these women. They needed a different version of Renee. They needed her, which is me, to have a different identity. And here's where I had to make the shift. Is I was so afraid to put myself out there because of the negative comments that would come. And I realized no matter what you do, haters will always show up, so you may as well do the damn thing. The inner work that you do is the most important work. And healing, personal development isn't a weekend course. It is a lifelong journey. I also learned that exercise is the best drug, and that your sisterhood will either help you soar or knock you down. And by the way, if they knock you down, it's not a sisterhood. Who you surround yourself with is the ultimate ticket to success. And they better be people that are blowing air in your wings and making sure that you go higher and higher. If not, cut them loose. Let's go right now. Cut them loose out of your life. That energy gone. New energy in. And you want that new energy. You want more of those women. You got to come to the summit this year, July 9th and 10th in Kelowna, BC. Go to pinkskirtproject.com/summit. Check it out. Great speakers, incredible opportunity, 2 full days, and it is pure entertainment. You are going to have a blast. So that was the first question. The next question that I asked myself is, what belief did I break up with this year? I want you to write that down. What belief did I break up with this year? Oh man, this one's embarrassing but real. I finally broke up with the belief that successful women don't struggle. I had the story that if I was really, quote, successful, everything would be easy and everything would feel easy. That struggle meant I was doing something wrong, that I should never air my dirty laundry. And it turned out that sharing more of the behind the scenes was the antidote that other women needed to see, to believe that they were also making progress because it was relatable. I remember a comment from an acquaintance moments after I shared a vulnerable post on Instagram about my early days as an entrepreneur. And she said how much more relatable I was because of that. I was so caught up in curating the perfect emotionally balanced life that I forgot the realness of how messy things should be, because it is messy. Life is messy. And that is relatable. And why relatability is important to me is because I used to be the woman who doubted herself, the woman who was always hovering just out of the red in business. I always believed that I was the fun one, but not the bright one or the competent one. It was like she was nice to have there, but if she wasn't there, then no one would notice. Like I was throwing insults at myself. It was a story I kept telling myself because that's how I felt growing up. And really, at the end of the day, think about it, in 200 years from now, you're going to be dead, and there's going to be other people living in your house, sleeping in your bedroom, and no one's going to remember you. So you may as well go do the damn thing and shift into the identity to be that person, to actually do the thing that you want to do. Life is short. Go and do it. So the next one is the skill that I strengthened. Here's the question that I asked myself. What skill did I strengthen this year? What was the thing I did that I needed to do in order to grow? For me, it was saying no without explanation. I know this sounds so simple, but for a people pleaser in recovery like me, this is revolutionary. I used to write paragraph long explanations or really long-winded text messages for why I couldn't take a coffee chat or speak at an event. And this year, I just say, that won't work for me, but thank you for thinking of me, period, full stop. The skill wasn't just saying no, it was sitting in the discomfort of potentially disappointing people that I really liked, but also being okay with it. Not being okay with disappointing them, but being okay with saying no. I strengthened my disappointment tolerance muscle, and ironically, it made my yeses so much more powerful. So when somebody asked me to do a thing and I said yes, it was like, oh, this feels so good. Because I think of the 10,000 things I said no to allow space for the yeses that feel good. Because you can't say yes to everybody. You got to say yes to the people, to the opportunities that just fill your love tank. Not to be too woo-woo. Now, the next question I asked myself was all about a boundary that I changed. And the question was, what boundary changed everything? No work, or emails in the evenings or on weekends. Sounds simple, but this transformed my business and my family life, even traveling. There are like, my dream was to have no meetings on Mondays and Fridays off. And as we traveled the world, we had to make some adjustments because of time zones. But for the most part, I achieved that. And the thing about Fridays is that gave me white space and extra space in case there was projects with deadlines that I couldn't do throughout the week. But really what it did was allowed me to have a day with no children and no meetings to rest and relax and go and get my hair done and go out for coffee with a friend or read a book or do the workout or go for the hike without there being an agenda. I recorded an incredible episode with Jillian Harris, and that episode reminded me that work will always be there, but my kids grow up too fast. She, in that episode, talks about, and I'll link it in the show notes, she talks about the structure of her day and her week and how she's done every day at 3 p.m. And there's themes to every day of the week, and she gets so much done. She gets so much done, and she has the emotional bandwidth to be with her kids. I used to be the person who responded to Slack messages at 9 p.m. while helping with homework and making dinner and answering clients' text messages. And I told myself I was being responsive and dedicated. And this was the reason why people wanted to work with me, because I just worked all hours of the day. Really, what I was doing was I was training everyone, including myself, that I had no boundaries and that anybody had access to me at any time. The way that you respond to somebody is the way that they're going to learn how responsive you are. In an emergency, yeah, call me, sure. But emails, like I had one woman who's pitching to be a workshop person at our event in July, and her and I were communicating over email. And I loved that because that's where the communicated started, and there's a thread. And my assistant's able to go in and help provide guidance or support where I need it. But then the other day she texted me. She sent me a voice note. I hate voice notes. Please don't ever send me a voice note. I like short text messages. And that's just my communication preference. And she's like, hey, Renee, I have a bunch of questions about, your reply to the email and all this stuff. And I just said to her, I didn't even listen to the voice note. I briefly read the transcript and I just said, hey, let's keep this to the email. If you could please reply there. It's just easier for me to process. Like I wasn't going to entertain going back and forth in a new method of communication because that might be her preference when she was pitching me to be at my event. And, old me would have been like, absolutely, I'll do things your way. But I'm like, no, we can't build greatness. We can't dedicate to the vision if we allow other people to come in and hijack our time, our energy, our space. And so the biggest boundary for me was saying no. When I implemented this rule, it was really only in June, everything in my business changed because I was well rested. I was a rested mom, a rested founder, and it was the medicine that everybody needed. You know what? My revenue went up because my customers who stayed respected the boundary and started treating our relationship more professionally. Plus, my kids stopped saying, Mama's always on her phone. You see, that hit differently when I actually was able to play board games at 7:30 in the morning with them. Okay, the next question is the I'm her moment. This is the question to ask yourself. When did I realize I was her, the woman I've been trying to become? Was there a moment this past year where you're like, even if it was just a glimpse, or maybe it was a massive moment that you're like, oh, that's her. Could have been a thought, could have been a question, could have been a conversation with somebody. For me, it was the Pink Skirt Project event. And holy crap, that day, I remember standing at the back of the room watching over 300 women wearing pink skirts. They were all there because of something I created, my vision. They were not just attending, but they were connecting and crying and laughing and dancing and doing deals and forming partnerships and changing lives. I had this vision years ago to bring together ambitious women who just get it, who aren't afraid to want more, who support each other's audacity. And there it was, happening right in front of me. That energy was so thick, which was a great thickness that you could cut it with a knife. Women were literally making six-figure connections at the cocktail hour. Someone closed a 10K deal at the after party. The sunroof of my friend's car shattered because she got in it after the event and she had so much energy. She believed, and I believe, the energy that was just pulsating through her and her friend shattered the sunroof. Many pink skirt events started popping up across the country because I created a movement. But the moment that really got me was the story about the sunroof being shattered. When Missy told me that, I was like, whoa, that summarizes the energy of that day so much. It made me cry. And I realized in that moment, I became her. I became the woman that I had dreamed of, standing on a pink skirt in front of hundreds of women getting a standing ovation. It was next level. It was a dream come true. And I became the woman who doesn't talk about community or creating a movement. I actually did it. I am the one who can fill a room with powerhouse women on a random Thursday. I'm the one brave enough to wear the metaphorical and literal pink skirt and say, let's effing go, sisters. The Pink Skirt Project wasn't just an event. It was a manifestation of everything I've been doing, all the failures, all the successes, all the speed bumps, all the skin knees in my life. And I was standing in that room, seeing the ripple effect in real time. Is when I knew I'd become the woman that I'd been dreaming of and who I'd been chasing. The last question is all about what you're going to be releasing this year. The question to ask yourself is this, and this might be probably the most important question. What am I releasing before entering 2026? What am I releasing on this first day or this first week of a whole new year? For me, I'm releasing the need to be understood by everybody. This has been my shadow for years, explaining myself, justifying my choices, trying to make everyone comfortable with my ambition, or justifying the rooms that I've been invited into that absolutely have blown my mind. You know what? Some people won't get why I work the way I do, why I'm building what I'm building, why I choose to show up as intensely as I do, why I parent the way I do, how I show up in my marriage and travel the world and just live life. And that's okay. I'm releasing the exhausting performance of making my success palatable for people who aren't my people anyway. My wild women, they get it. My sisterhood gets it. The Pink Skirt Project women get it. My community gets it. My family gets it. And if you don't get it, you don't have to. You do not have to subscribe to this, but something tells me you're here and you're still listening because you want to be a part of that energy. And listen, I'm here for you. Anything you need, you can message me on Instagram, Renee_Warren. And I want to go through these questions again. Questions to ask yourself as you enter a new year. 1, what was my biggest identity shift this year? 2, what belief did I break up with this year? 3, what skill did I strengthen this year? 4, what boundary changed everything? 5, when did I realize I was her, the woman I've been trying to become? And finally, What am I releasing before entering 2026 or as I enter a whole new year? These are questions to reflect on, maybe in a lighter moment, in an evening, in a morning. Maybe it's snowing, maybe it's not. But I really want you to believe that you can be the woman you want to be. You can have the boundaries. You can have the white space in your calendar. You can work with whoever you want to work with. You just got to believe you can do it. It's not easy. It takes hustle. It's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. But I did it. And I'm just another Canadian mother living in the north in the mountains. I'd love to hear your story. As always, please hit me up on Instagram. And if you want to surround yourself with this sisterhood, come out to Kelowna in July for the Pink Skirt Project Summit. Happy New Year's, ladies. Till next time, peace out.